is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the info war. We're going to go to your phone calls right now, and then when I start the next hour, or in the second segment, I'm going to get into this big Second Amendment news. It's a trifecta. Rockefeller Brothers, Pepsi behind gun grab. New York Assemblyman confirms what mayors have said in the meetings with the SAFE Act. They plan to confiscate the guns. We have video of that in the legislature. Just talk about it. Ohio sheriff who refused to renew concealed carry permits of legal and lawful citizens has been indicted on 25 counts of all sorts of crime. Money laundering, theft, covering up, tampering with evidence, just on and on. Yeah, it's always scum that want to disarm the general public. Only scum would want to have the guns and not have other people have guns. Only scum wouldn't want their neighbors to be armed, but they're rich and establishment, and so they can have waivers and own guns. What the world kind of country is that? Well, they've taken the guns everywhere else, and they want to act like they don't want our guns. They're a pack of liars. We've got them. You need to stop letting them have the moral authority and get back in their face. Let's go to your phone calls. Let's get one in right now. We're going to we got open phones next hour. Got a fellow Schlafly joining us to break down the immigration situation, which it doesn't matter if they do the immigration reform or not. They've already fiated the illegals already. They already give them all the welfare, and they're going to vote Democrat. It's over, folks. They can bring in people that'll vote to take our guns. Game over. That's how you militarily take over in the 21st century. And then, of course, the people they use to take over will be totally enslaved as well. It's just disgusting. Tony in New York, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind today?
Hey, Matt Drudge actually gave you a good shout-out this morning on Twitter about your interview coming up.
I didn't know that. Man, Matt is so awesome, and I've been under the weather, so I haven't been doing as much. I usually do about 4 hours of research in the morning, and I've only been doing about an hour of it because I have had pneumonia, but I'm getting better now. I had just light pneumonia in both lungs in the top, but I didn't know that. I usually follow his Twitter every day. What did he say?
He just mentioned your interview and said it should be fantastic because she's really exciting also.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, will you guys pull me the report from last week? Because I know they funded, I think it was a Pew Research, and then they had some others showing all the numbers of what the amnesty thing will do. So thank you, Matt, for plugging that. I'm going to hold you over, caller. You got anything else you want to add, Tony?
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to really commend the Super Bowl 9/11 truther, Matthew Mills, for really kind of getting through the police state and exposing the 9/11 lie and really reaching so many people. I mean, I'm seeing so many new people.
You are watching the best of the Alex Jones Show, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Watch live at Infowars.com/show or become a member of InfoWarsNews.com and help us take resistance to the next level.
All right, Tony in New York, uninterrupted. You got cut off there at the end of the last segment. We're taking calls right now. I got key Second Amendment news coming up. Need a fly swatter. There's a fly in here. And I tell you, I'm going to kill it. Continue. It's not even a fly. It's like a gnat. It's not a fruit fly. It's bigger than that. It's driving me crazy. Let's go. We can do that to the globe. Like little flies flying around it, actually. Like a big giant mothership fly is Hillary. And then, like, seeping out of her. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Like she lays more fly eggs. I'm sorry. She gave birth to Obama, actually. Do you know Obama's actually her son? The product of her Congress with a dead horse. Let's go ahead and talk to... I'm sorry, folks. Tony in New York. I apologize. Tony, go ahead and make your point.
No, don't apologize. I think you're right on. But no, I actually found this really cool thing on the internet that could be used to fight or to kind of for activism. I'm sure you've seen the Wi-Fi networks. So when you go to connect your device to something like a Wi-Fi network, you see all the different names.
Yes, sir.
They sell these devices called Wi-Fi pineapples that let you broadcast about like 100 different Wi-Fi names, and you can make them anything you want. So you could have 9/11 was an inside job. You could make 100 Wi-Fi networks with freedom messages and just carry this thing around with you everywhere you go. And people will see it because you could actually do some really neat things on it that will make So whenever every time someone pulls it out, you could actually connect to it and have it logged directly to Infowars.com. There's so many neat things you could do.
Exactly. There are so many inventive ways for each individual every day to reach out to others, and just by doing that, it'll have a huge effect.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, Alex. Hopefully some of your listeners just automatically go Google it. I think it'd be a great way to reach people. Anyways, keep up the good fight. Love you, man.
Thank you, brother. We love you as well. You know, I realize what it is. I've been talking about Obama and his camp followers, the flies. Maybe these are Obama supporters that have showed up. There it is. I almost got it. Made a fly swatter. Maybe that's a drone. I'm being sarcastic, MSNBC. I didn't actually say that was a drone. They've already said, I believe, WASP live underneath the Capitol building, or under the UN building. When everybody knows it's actually giant 18-foot tall turkeys. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk to Steve in Texas. All right, I'm going to stop right there. Steve in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Last month you were mentioning Amazon's predictive purchasing ability.
Yes, sir.
And that is so pervasive that it's basically changing the way economists are able to predict the market. Instead of looking at market predictions, they're able to predict individual consumers, and that's going to change the way advertising and everything is done in the future. Sure,
via your web ID to all your devices, TVs, you name it, smartphones, they're going to deploy ads that are tailored to you, and then it's the end of your privacy right there, and then they can also tailor your behavior by what they feed you falsely.
Exactly. The data mining is the future. You will not be able to go to the bathroom without someone knowing about it. The only way I see to combat it is to create a local economy. My economist professor said the exact same thing about Amazon almost a week later. And he said, you know, he doesn't want the future to be dictated by mega corporations, and it's everywhere. So
well, exactly. While we're being told to fight with each other over how much pigment we have in our skin, that's because they're discriminating us on our info, on our taxes. It's all going to these globalists. I mean, we're all being destroyed right now. I don't care what color you are, and we're busy fighting with each other over the diminishing artificial resources. And so I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, I was with you out there last year, tactical firearms, and the Second Amendment's under attack, First Amendment's under attack. It's bad. So you have to begin to network locally and take things back 50 years.
Yeah, I'm just glad the Katy police outside of Houston didn't give anybody trouble for all being armed with what you call assault rifles and us out there bullhorning on the side of the road. And nothing bad happened. And the police didn't violate the First or Second Amendment. Wasn't that great? Globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding, making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
The brainwashing media machine has been turned up on high, and it's time for humanity to double down on the true people's media and strike back against the tyrants that are destroying our civilization with their lies and fraud. We are the resistance. You are the resistance. You are the info war. It is more important than ever to realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv. Amnesty equals suicide for Republican Party. Folks, if these were libertarians coming over the border, quite frankly, I wouldn't care if there were 30 million. But if they were white socialists coming across the border, I'd be against them. It's predominantly Latin Americans, and they are absolutely, on average, close to 90% voting anti-gun, anti-family, Democratic Party line. And again, folks, it's not that we're, quote, for the Republicans either. It's that the Democrats are taking over. And the Republican leadership wants amnesty too. And the big banks want it. And they're giving money to try to run all the Tea Party people out and saying it's racist. No one lets illegals come to their country and give them all this welfare. We're going bankrupt, folks. We're already bankrupt. And you're going to legalize illegals? That's going to bring in even more. And we know where this situation goes. So I'm going to repost on Infowars.com. I've got Kit Daniels doing it right now. Amnesty equals suicide for Republican Party. And Phyllis Schlafly's going to be joining us. We're going to break all that down. I'm going to retweet Matt Drudge's tweet today, plugging the fact that she's coming on. Because this is a big deal. And we need to talk facts. I can't go to Mexico and have a baby for free. I can't go down there and get on welfare. And it's insane. Mexico is a failed, collapsed state. And then they sell it like it's mean to Hispanics if you don't want totally open borders. And then Americans, on average, are so politically correct. They go, okay, we'll do whatever you say, to the point of you can't even, the Discovery Channel and History Channel, are getting rid of any characters that are of mixed racial background in a bad light. I mean, here's one. Obama's Satan lookalike cut from film version of hit miniseries The Bible. The devil is on the cutting room floor. This is now a movie about Jesus. The devil gets no more screen time, says producer of The Son of God. And that's all the political correctness. And Google, won't let you talk about black mobs beating up white people all over the country. And they call that hate speech and is threatening to shut down basically WorldNet Daily with Google Ads. We've got Joseph Farah on tomorrow to break all of that down. So this is the political weaponization of speech, where you're not allowed to have your speech, but the establishment is. And the Democratic Party operates as a cult now, where in almost every case you can go out to California especially, but also University of Texas in Austin, where I live, kind of a bizarro world compared to the rest of Texas. Not that Texas is perfect, but I mean, it's fruitcake land. And you go down there and say, hey, we want to ban water for the earth. Al Gore says they signed the petition, and we want to put gun owners in prison, all of them. They signed the petition. And out in California, Mark Dice goes out, and I mean, this is unedited, folks. This is, if he'll talk to 10 people, and 9 of them will say, yes, put gun owners in camps and kill them. If you say, for Obama, we're going to put gun owners in camps and kill them. You've heard the audio here. The video's on Infowars.com. And they say, yes, we want to kill gun owners. They will do anything. They are in a cult. They don't know how to tie their shoelaces, literally. They just know how to support the Democratic Party and hop around acting trendy all day. They don't know about foreign corporations owning the Democrat and Republican leadership. They have no idea about balkanization. They have no idea about real discrimination by the globalists and the rigged economy. All they know how to do is run around grandstanding. Now, I want to cover some Second Amendment news. We're going to go to JJ, Wayne, Kevin, Timothy, John. In fact, in the order, it's JJ, Wayne, John, then Timothy, and then Kevin. I'm going to get to all of you here in just a moment. But first, I want to go ahead and get into this news report that's up on Infowars.com. Rockefeller Brothers, Pepsi behind gun grab agenda. And you can go in there and watch the video and see their own webpage, the Aspen Institute, which is like a Bilderberg subcommittee. And you can go see the heads of PepsiCo and the Rockefeller Foundation, Rockefeller Brother Foundation, admit they're funding the move to disarm the American people. I mean, let's talk about where this comes from. Ultra-rich scum who've politically hijacked the country and are the biggest recipients of taxpayer bailouts and tax exemptions. I mean, they are the ultimate discriminatory. I mean, find out who funded Hitler. The biggest funder of Hitler on record was the Rockefeller Foundation, then became Rockefeller Brother Foundation. I think it was like in 1910 or something. But so by the time they funded the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in the 20s and then Hitler, it was the Rockefeller Brothers. The literal group that literally created the Nazi Party, the proto-Nazi Party. And David Rockefeller went over there and spent time in Germany and was a double agent of the Germans and helped set them up when he was like, 18 years old. I mean, these are amazing people. I mean, I got to say, he set up every UN organization there is. I mean, you got to hand it to them. They really are busy little bumblebees. George Soros is kind of a modern example. He was a Nazi collaborator on record. And it's just so crazy to be informed and know that a proto-Nazi, This is the Nazis' daddy and mama that laid down on its back and literally spit out the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute and worldwide eugenics and Adolf Alois Hitler. And it's teamed up with Soros and Bloomberg and all these other Jews of all people going after the Second Amendment. I mean, it is just cuckoo, bizarro land. And then you've got all these camp followers like Michael Moore and Obama and Nancy Pelosi and all of it. I mean, it is insane. It is so bizarre when you look at all the players and what's going on. But when you get down to it, it's just evil. It's authoritarians across the board, whether they be Chinese, whether they be German, whether they be Jewish, British. I don't care. They have an instinct in the elites to disarm their quarry. So that article is up on Infowars.com. Here's another one. I'm going to play the video of this. New York Assemblyman say fact, Democrats wanted to confiscate guns. Evidence that the gun control lobby's ultimate goal to disarm law-abiding gun owners surfaced last year in a short video clip that dovetails with the mayors that went public last week from a New York State Assembly session prior to the passage of the highly contentious SAFE Act. The video posted a month later by the Sandy Hook school shooting depicts Assemblyman Stephen F. McLaughlin attempting to address the topic of rejecting Democrat proposals from the bill. I have in my hand something here we received from the Senate, which has rejected Democrat proposals in the bill. He replies to it and lists it, saying that everybody's got their own list of Senate rejections, so I don't have anything to show you. And he goes on to say, well, it sure does. When we talk about confiscation of assault weapons, it absolutely has the ability to dampen a compromise. And I remember the clip, actually. There's a clip where they talk about gun confiscation, about once they get the registration, they do the forced buyback. Well, we have the mayor pro tem, Mike Martinez, saying, once we register, we will come take your guns. So the point is, I mean, people that know what's going on go, of course they want the guns. Well, the general public still thinks they just want reasonable restrictions. You know, not, oh, my car's broke down. Just, are you home alone, lady? Just let me in. The woman's got a bad feeling. The guy looks like a convict. Don't open the door, lady. Tell him move on the road. You know, call 911 for him if he absolutely has to have help. Don't open the door in the middle of the night. Well, same thing is open the door, let us in, turn your guns in. We're going to be nice to you. Open the door, let me put you in handcuffs, let me tie you up, and then I'm going to take good care of you. That worked well for the women that went with Ted Bundy. Let's go ahead and go to a part of this clip, proof Democrats want to register and then confiscate.
And Joe, I have in my hands here something that we received from the Senate, which is rejected Democrat proposals in this gun bill. And I don't know that you've seen this, or if you know that these are there or not.
No, but we don't have our own list of rejected proposals that the Senate rejected, so I don't have anything to show you.
Okay. All right, so then I won't address it then if you haven't seen it. I'll leave that one alone. Okay, thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. And Mr. Speaker, on the bill.
And by the way, I would recommend not to have that list shared because it really has the capacity to dampen the enthusiasm to compromise.
Well, it sure does when we talk about confiscation of assault weapons. It absolutely has the ability to dampen a compromise. Mr. Speaker, on the bill.
On the
There you go. Don't share that list with anybody. I mean, look, let's stop playing here. We all know what you want. We all know the goal. You have a criminal instinct. I don't care if it's Central Africa. I don't care if it's Mexico. I don't care if it's California. I don't care if it's New York. I don't care if it's Illinois. The government's there wherever they're criminal, wherever they're mafia, wherever they're gouging and taxing and pushing and harassing. And it's because they're all exempt, folks. You go look at all those kleptocratic regimes like France with the socialists. They're all exempt from the taxes. It comes out in the news. They all have Swiss bank accounts. But in the case of the EU, the bureaucrats are exempt from the EU federal tax. Our Congress is exempt from most of the taxes. What? Now they're trying to pass legislation where their exemptions are secret. See, that's real discrimination. That's what you should feel really cheated by, that you've got to pay outrageous taxes while they're exempt. Because if they had to pay them, folks, they wouldn't be doing it. That's why you want justice. All men are created equal. as the Declaration of Independence said, and as Martin Luther King requoted, by created equals, you get the same rights, you get the same starting line. It doesn't mean you're really equal with every gift you've got from God. But you start at the same starting line. And justice is blind.